What? It's the phone for me. It's a vibe.
Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Y'all know what time it
Wait.
is. Let's go,
It's
let's go,
Friday.
let's go, let's go.
Hey y'all.
It's a vibe.
What is up? What is up? What is up? Everyone, everyone, everyone. It's another Friday. I'm here with my sisters. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. And we about to go in. And yo, it's pull up Friday. Pull up on us. Pull up on us. I'm about to put the link in the chat for y'all to pull up on us. All right. Whichever one of my sisters want to go first, whether it be Sarah or Tweet.
Go ahead, tweet.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Is your girl Tweet from Tweet Talks Podcast, and we are here once again because we're here to keep it live because it is a vibe. So we want to tell everybody come on in and enjoy the show, and make sure you check out Tweet Talks Podcast, available on all major networks: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Go check it out.
Hey y'all. This your girl Cheryl Renee, host of the Blemish Beauty Podcast. Once again, we back at it on this Friday. Looking forward to y'all pulling up on us. Come and vibe out with us, y'all.
Yep. And as y'all already know, my name is Reverend James H. Glover III, CEO of Weapons AC3 Ministries, host of many podcasts, co-host of a few, and also founder of Weapons HC3 Studios, and just a few more things that we got in the works for this year. So definitely stay tuned. So let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Who wants to tell them what our topic is tonight?
All right. So tonight our topic is what what men want. Am I in here, y'all?
Yeah. You good?
Okay. What men want versus what women need.
Ew.
What men
Mm.
want versus what women need.
Pew pew
So
pew
how we gonna dissect this, y'all?
pew.
We're gonna dissect what men want first. Uh-oh, those are the
Yeah.
big guns.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
he with it.
Yo, Tweet, you're gonna have to go out because all I see, your face is frozen.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
be
go out
back.
and come back. All right. All right. So, Sarah, I'm gonna let you start it off. What do women need?
Well, you know how they say, be his peace. We need that too. We need a safe space. We're emotional creatures. So we need that safe
Definitely.
space to vent, to talk about, okay, like we have girlfriends where we could sit and we could talk about life and all the things, right? But we want y'all low key to be our girlfriends too. Like we want to gossip to y'all. We want y'all to be our safe space. We want y'all to be our confidant, all the things. So if you provide that safe space for us, then we good to go. We golden.
I feel like definitely for us, we're just looking for, in all honesty, we're looking for somebody not to be another mother to us, but to basically be like a confidant, someone that we can trust with our innermost secrets and not worry
Right.
about the rest of the world finding out about it. And because in all honesty, as a man, let me just keep it real, with everything that we deal with on a daily basis, the world tears us down enough. The world makes us feel
Absolutely.
like we are less than nothing, especially
Mhm.
as African American.
Right. I
But
believe.
but when with our woman, we need her to be that safe space for us, to where like if she's got issues, yes, come to us with the issues. However, give us a moment, because like in all honesty, we've been beat up by the world already all day. The last
Mm-hmm.
thing we want to do is come home and be beat up at home as well. And I'm
Right.
not saying this makes it right, but a lot of times, the reason why a man will see a lot of the times is because he says, I ain't getting no peace at home. This other woman is giving me the peace I'm not getting at home. I'm going to go somewhere to get my peace.
So what do you need, Tweet?
So, yeah, what do I need? Oh my gosh. Consistency. I am immediately turned. Consistency is like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a person that kind of gives people the opportunity to show you who they are, and then they show you that they're not consistent, they're showing you that that's exactly who they are. I'm an inconsistent individual, and I will show up inconsistently in your life. So I think consistency, and when I say consistency, I simply mean whoever you are, stay. You know how they say keep that same energy. Keep that
Mm-hmm.
same energy. If you show up in my life as being um caring, honest, consistent, um understanding, all those things, like a helpmate, all those things, if you come into my life being that, then you need to consistently show up being that, because that's, as we talked about before, a lot of people come into your life with a representative. They're being a representative of who they are, right? So if you come into my life and you're showing me that you're consistent and everything else, then you need to continue with that same energy.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
that I'm big
I
on that.
like
So
that.
definitely what I need.
I,
And
I
if you're
feel
not
that. I feel that.
consistent, then I'm just gonna label you as not consistent.
Okay. So here's my question to you all.
Could
Can
you
a
drop us that
man
link?
can a man be inconsistent but have everything else that you need and you still give him a chance? So let's say like he's checking off every other box. He's there for you. He provides. He prays for you. He's not asking you to cook. He's taking care of his household. All of those things. However, he just isn't consistent. He's checking off every other box, but that one box he ain't checking off. Does that automatically rule him out, or is consistently see something that can be a negotiable?
So how can he do that and then
I
be
think
inconsistent?
That's a good question.
so. Give us an example of somebody that checks off all the boxes except for being consistent. And James, don't
Okay,
forget to drop that link on the in the
already done it. So
okay.
y'all definitely
No, the other
pull
one,
up. What link? What other one?
the shareable one, not that one.
I did. I did.
Oh,
I put it in your
to the
inbox.
actual live.
Yes.
It's in the he put it in the chat.
Yeah. To where like y'all
Oh,
can
okay,
share the
okay. I
live
got
on
you.
Facebook. Yeah. It's in the
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you,
Okay.
sis. I got you. I got
yeah. I was wondering what's he talking about. I'm like, it's in
Yes.
there. All right. So okay. I'm gonna give y'all some different examples. Okay. So I'm gonna start it off with Shira. Okay.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So this man is taking you on dates.
Okay, I'm here for it.
He is giving you money to get your nails and your hair done and for
Okay.
you to go shopping. He is giving you money to pay bills, simply just for you to pay the bills and take care of things that you need to take care of. But he isn't consistently there for you emotionally. Is that a deal breaker?
Are we married or are we in a relationship? Because that makes a difference.
in a relationship.
Yes, that's a deal breaker.
But he's taking care of every other aspect of it.
But I could do that too.
Facts. Okay. All right. Done.
Because the topic of the conversation is wants versus needs. So what he's doing is what I want, but what I need him to do is be emotionally available.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna come back to you on that. I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go to tweet. I'm gonna go to tweet real quick. So
Tweet,
this
tweet,
man,
y'all.
yes.
Okay.
So here's your scenario, T. So this man is taking care of the house. He's a handyman around the house.
Oh
He's
man.
oh
Oh man.
man.
Let me
Yes.
wait, hold on. Let me tell y'all something really quick, right?
This is
So
why we
James, let me
laughing.
tell you, for the ones who are not watching the live, because you know I'm an audio girl, y'all video people. I'm an audio girl, so I think about my audio babies. For the people that's not watching this live right now, James has this thing where he throws out these scenarios and he uses personal little things that he knows we like for these scenarios. So him throwing out that,
Me?
oh, he's handy around the house. No, that's one
Me?
of Tweet's favorite things. So
Me?
go ahead.
Right.
Me?
Go ahead.
Right.
Me?
Right.
Alright,
He's like a
alright.
sponge, right?
Just
So
soak everything up to store
But
for
that's
later.
good though.
exactly.
At least he
So-
paying attention.
Mhm.
Exactly. He's a handyman around the house.
Right.
He loves your dog.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh shoot. Come on.
come on,
He is
Logo.
mhm. Come on, Loki.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's a handyman around the house. He loves your dog.
And he can cook.
And he can cook. And he can cook. And he can cook.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his only flaw is
Okay.
he doesn't spend as much time around you. He will because he's busy doing other things. Like he's busy working, he's busy making money and all of that. But he always makes sure that other things are taken care of around the house. Is that a deal breaker for you?
I would say no, it's not a deal breaker. Now, when you say he's not around and he's doing things, it's a difference in telling somebody, I'll be back, I'm going to work, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or I got to do this, I got to do that. And I believe that when you are spending this extra time away from me, there should be something to show for it.
I feel
You
that.
just don't tell a woman, okay, I'm working overtime, or I got to go take care of this, I got to go handle that. There needs to be something to show for it, because what you taking away from my time, what are you getting back? And I'm not saying something for me, I'm saying something for the relationship as a whole. Like, what are you coming back? If you're like, okay, I'm working overtime, I did this. Okay, look, hey, I had to go get me a new car or something. I'm like, okay, well, there's something coming out of what you're doing. Just to say no, I'm not around like that,
Okay.
that's fine with me. That's understandable. I mean, because I need to be with somebody that has their own thing going on. Some women don't, but I am a woman that needs to be with somebody that has their own thing going on, because I have my own things going on. So it's important for them to have their thing going on. And when we get together, we together. They talk about what they had going on. I talk about what I had going on. We put that aside, and it's all about us.
Facts. I like that. I
So,
like that.
Get him,
James,
Tweet.
Dang! I
okay.
knew it was coming.
So
I
this
knew
is
it
my
was
scenario.
coming. I knew it
So
was coming.
you meet, you're dating, you're dating, you're in a relationship with a woman that she loves the Lord.
She thick.
She is beautiful. She's got she thick, she a little thicky. So, and then she has, career. She's got her own life going on, but she's she hangs out. On the weekend, she might go to the club, or she might not go to the club. She might go to a social gathering. And this is part of her life. Like every weekend, she's doing this. She's spending time with her friends. Is that a deal breaker for you?
I wouldn't say it is a deal breaker. It is not, because it depends on what she's doing at these social gatherings. Like, if she's going to these social gatherings and she's just hanging out and she's just having fun, kicking back, relaxing, vibing out, then yo, that's cool. But if you are sitting there at these social gatherings and you are getting tore up from the floor up, then yeah, that's a deal breaker for me, because at the end of the day, if me and you are dating or we are in a relationship, you are a representation of me. So
Yeah.
if somebody sees you out and they see you doing just that, guess what? The first thing that's gonna come out of their mouth is Reverend Glover's woman was out there doing this, he was out there doing that. Like, legit, I don't have time for that. It's like, at this point in my life, what I'm saying is, like, we don't have to be so stuck up. I'm not saying I want a woman that is in church 24/7, because that is not what I'm trying to do. But what I am saying is, we can find ways to have fun where we can unwind. So it's like, we got to find that balance. So okay, I'm gonna give both of y'all a
Okay.
scenario on this one. I'm gonna give both of y'all a scenario on this one. This scenario goes for both of y'all.
And then I'm gonna tell you something about.
What you say? All right,
No, I
all
said
right.
I'm getting ready to tell you something because we was talking about what men want. You want me to go ahead now?
Okay.
Or you want to do
Yeah, go
your
on ahead, and then I'll
later?
give y'all the scenario. Go.
Okay. So my viewpoint on what a man wants is ultimately it's about control and having his ego stroked. I think that every aspect of a man is about making a man feel like a man. And any woman that can come in, a lot of times I feel like a woman that can watch, that can be in a man's life and stroke his ego can go a lot further than a woman that won't, because that's what it's all about. I feel like a lot of men believe, we go back to Adam and Eve being a part of his rib, right? Which means that he needed her. It was never clear on what he needed her for, but only for the fact that she was a part of him. So I feel like it's a thing where men need women to constantly remind them and make them feel like a man.
I agree.
And like a lot of women, even like if we think about the side chick, this woman can come into this man's life and she could know about his woman. She can know about his relationship. But all she needs to hear is what the woman in his life is not doing, and she do what she's not doing. She's in there.
And they're like
She's in
swimwear.
there because and to be honest with you, this can be the truth or it can be a lie. Right. You see what I'm saying? So all she has to do is listen. Now, when we think about that, the longevity of what she's there for may not be as long as she thinks it is. Like, he may be telling her she's just forever. You know, he's he said she's his whatever forever. That may not be the case, but I think that as long as she can come into his life and produce whatever the other chick isn't, she's in there. And he's gonna look at her as like his everything because she's pouring into him. And that's, to me, that's
So,
sad.
so here we go.
That's sad because you know, I feel like for that type, go ahead.
No, 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 no. Go on ahead.
Yeah, it's just that's really what it is. It's like if a woman comes in a man's life and she's prepared to, and it's at all costs. Like to all the viewers watching, this is my viewpoint, and I stand strong behind it. If a woman is willing to downgrade the things that she holds most valuable to her for the man, she's going to go a long way, because that's what he wants to see. He wants to see a piece of her coming apart and filled in with himself.
I agree with that, because we could take this all the way
She
back.
has devoted her. She's actually devoted herself. Mhm.
We could
Go ahead.
take this back to Samson. A lot of times when we think of Samson, we just look at how Delilah played him and how Delilah tricked him and how Delilah cut off a lock of his hair, cut off a lock of his hair. But here's the question that I would ask: How
It's how she
was
made him feel.
Delilah? How was Delilah able to get to Samson? She was able to get to Samson because Samson felt safe enough to lie his head down on her leg, in her in
Her
her
lap.
leg, in her lap.
Mm-hmm.
And when he laid his head down in her lap, she automatically knew that she had him. And a lot of times, it wasn't the fact that he laid his head down in her lap that was the problem. It was the fact that it wasn't the fact that Simpson laid his head down in a woman's lap that was the problem. It was the fact that Simpson laid his head down in the wrong woman's lap that was the problem.
But
And
why
a
was
lot
that though?
because she made him feel safe. She
No, because he
presented
was
himself,
blinded by how she looked. And that's the
but it wasn't
problem.
just
Mm,
it wasn't
that's
just
why he gave her
that.
the opportunity.
She
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
exactly,
He,
but she also presented herself a safe space for him.
secondly, if she didn't present herself to kind of woo him with her looks, he wouldn't have gave her an opportunity to see if it was even a safe to be space, a space to be safe. He was wooed by her looks, and so he gave her the opportunity to see if she could. But the main part of it is everything is self. It wasn't interesting whether Delilah felt safe with him. She was going well over beyond who she was to make this man feel good. Ultimately, it was for a negative reason, but she created a safe space to him. And I mean, I'm not a man, but if you really think about it, that's very deceptive, and it still goes on today. A man is
Oh,
looking at a
definitely.
woman because of how attractive she is, but
BBD told
he
y'all
doesn't
in
know
Poison about that.
um
Don't
character.
trust a big button to smile.
That girl
But y'all
is
do it. Y'all still do
poison.
it.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Why
I
you
will
cleaning your
Men
throat,
admit.
are visual.
James?
Men are
Huh?
visual.
Why you
I
cleaning
will
your throat?
admit. I will
Hmm.
honestly admit
Hmm.
that I've told y'all. I have told
Hmm.
y'all
Tell
that
the people.
I have had a problem in the
Hmm.
past of I had a particular type. I had a
Hmm.
type, a particular type of female that I normally went after. And that particular type of female is not the type of female now I realize, now that I have some clarity, now I realize that the type of females that I was going after was not the type of woman that God was wanting to bless me with. Now I'm in a situation where like the blinders are off and I can now finally see what I need to see, and I thank God for it because now I am where
Yeah.
I need to
They're off right
be as
now.
far. I mean,
Tonight.
they're staying off. They are staying off because I can honestly say that now I'm not going to. I can honestly say that like at this point in my life, I'm not with that no more because of the simple fact of I know where I am headed. and I know where God is taking me to. And I can honestly say that I have written a vision and I have made it plain of that type of where I know that God is taking me to, and the type of, and I have also written a vision and made it plain of what I need to do and the type of woman that it will take to help me get to that level that I know that God is taking me to. And it's
So, question, y'all. So, when you hear a woman say she needs security, what is that like? What does that mean to a man? And Shira, what does that mean to a woman?
to a man, the first thing we see is dollar signs because of the simple fact of most of the time when a woman says she needs security, she wants to know how much money you got in your bank account.
No, we don't.
A lot of the times, I'm being
We
honest,
want
a
to
lot
know
of the
if you
time.
we want to know if you have a job, not how much you getting paid.
Okay, okay, I'll give you that. Y'all don't. But a
What?
lot of these little girls out here, the first
That's
thing they want to
because
know
okay, but let me
is,
tell you. Let me tell
can you
you.
buy me the Birkin bag? Can you
Salt,
buy me this? Can you buy me
listen.
that?
Salt also looks like sugar, okay? One is
Mm.
going to
I don't
sustain
know my own
you and
Birkin
the other
bag.
one
I
is
know on the
going to
website I can get it from.
ruin your meal. So you decide which one you want. You want the one that's going to sustain you, that you can use and have to nourish you, or do you want the one that's going to ruin your meal? And 9 times out of 10, y'all go for the sugar, and then y'all end up wondering why y'all got rotten teeth.
Man,
Hmm.
let me be real. I'm gonna use a scenario. I'm gonna
Here we
use
go with the
Yeah.
scenarios.
no. This one is gonna be on me. So this scenario, I used to love. There is a particular candy that I used to love. Now and ladies and Jolly Ranchers.
Old
Love
school.
them. Love them. Love them. Couple of weeks ago, I had bought a bag of them. Well, as I was eating on them, I started noticing that my top gum was starting to become a little tender.
Mhm.
And as I thought back to it, mom works at a dentist office. So what I did was I called her and I'm like, hey, can you bring home some like oil gel or something like that when you get off from work? I said, nothing's wrong with my tooth. I just think that like I said, my gum is just a little tender. What had happened was those Jolly Rangers and now laters, even though I liked them, they was not good for me at this time because of the simple fact of the damage that it was doing. Because instead of taking my time and enjoying it, I was wanting to bite into it to get to the finish line. So when I was biting into it, some of it had broken off and got into the gum. A lot of times, what men are doing a lot of times is we see
Biting
these
into
beautiful
it.
we see these beautiful little girls that are disguising themselves as grown women. We bite into it and we're getting mad because we're dealing with the tenderness because we get hurt from them. And then we run into the grown women. And a lot of times, y'all having to be the oil gel to us to have to ease the pain of what some other little girl did.
Or y'all don't allow us to.
That too. That
Which is
too.
very unfair. Yes. Yes.
It
Or
is.
you just see, I think a lot of times what men don't realize is when you've been in a relationship like this that needs to be patched up with Oragel, as you just said it, the person that comes into your life, it has to deal with whining and crying at night because just as an analogy, the whining and crying at night because this all the things that this person is going to do to you because of what somebody else has done, and that's not fair. And I know that women tend to do it too, but let me tell you something. A man and the way he deals with a heartbreak is way different from a woman.
Yeah.
A man is like letting every woman that he comes across feel the wrath because all of y'all are women. Y'all are all going to feel it. A woman is more so, she may have that same anger and rage in her, but because she's emotional, she might be like, well, I ain't gonna do that because I mean, that's too far, or that's being petty. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. But a man, when he's dealing with heartbreak, comes into his life, and she's able to give him what he needs. She's ready to be there for him through the long haul. He is just so, vicious, about how he deals with her. And, I mean, I think a lot of men think that women, because, the reality of it is the ratio between men and women is so different that a woman has to deal with whatever you give her. But, and I speak for not a lot of women. A lot of us are like, you know what? If I got to deal with all of that, I'll be by myself. Because the headache and the stress that you have to deal with somebody that has been heartbroken, and the way he wants to deal with you and deal with you any kind of way, we know what we deserve, regardless of what we do. We know what we deserve, and we also know how long we're going to allow the person to mistreat us. We already have
And
that
you know why
stamp somewhere
I think
inside of
it's
us. It just comes to the surface at a certain point.
I think it's different for each one of us too, because we as women, we are more acceptable to help. Like we'll be the ones to go to therapy, openly and easily. We'll be the ones to talk about it and, just let it out and not let it fester as long, as opposed to men. It takes them so long to be vulnerable. When they do decide to be vulnerable and they're vulnerable to the wrong one, it's like, yo, I done effed up now. And now they got to go back down into that shell and they don't want to be vulnerable again.
Mm-mm. And a lot of times, the reason why we don't want to be vulnerable is because one woman has that up. And for women, let me be real. For men, it is harder for us to be vulnerable because we have been raised with that mentality of don't show your emotions. Don't
Of
show your
course.
emotions.
Right.
Toughen up, don't cry, don't show your emotions, be strong, get through it. But then when we find that woman or somebody that looks like a woman that says, yo, I wanna I wanna be here for you. And you let your guard down just a little bit and start opening up to her. And then she takes that and uses it against you. Yeah, men have a problem with that. And then what happens is a man will run into a woman like you and tweet. And when he runs into a woman like you and tweet, y'all are telling him, yo, baby, just open up to me, just show your emotions to me. And we're like little kids, where it's like we want to show our emotions, but we have a trauma from the last time we showed our emotions to somebody. Our emotions was made to feel invalid. Our
Right.
emotions was made to feel like, yo, it don't matter what we think,
Yeah.
it don't matter how we feel. So if that's how we are made to feel, just keeping it all the way a buck and keeping it all the way real with y'all, if a man is made to feel like, yo, what you say don't matter, how you feel don't matter, or none of that, then guess what? A lot of times what happens is that man will be like, man, I ain't about to show my emotions to nobody. I'm about to just be out here grinding and get it on my own and figure it out on my own because I'll be darned if I let somebody tell me that how I feel don't matter.
But in tweets point, how fair is that to us? You know how many times we get into relationships and we get pissed on
I'm
emotionally?
I'm
9
not
times
saying
out of
it's fair
10
to y'all.
we deal with domestic violence situations, and we have you children, and we get married, and we have all of these situations that we have to bounce back from 9 times out of 10 with little people. You know what I'm saying? And then we still come up and show up to welcome you guys open arms and all and clean the slate. And then
I'm
we
not
have to
saying
sit here and try to convince. That's not, I mean, we both sides have to give each other grace. And you have to
I
come to
agree.
the table with giving the other side grace, because you've come in dealing with something and they've come in dealing with something. Let's put it all on the table, and we make a vow that we're not going to make the other one look stupid out here in public, and we create this legacy and keep it moving. But people are not honest. Like Tweet said, you come with these representatives and you lie. Why are you in a pool when you know you don't want to swim to the other side? You just want to sit in here and play around and see who in here. Get the hell out.
Okay, let me speak from a man's perspective on that. First off, I totally agree with what you're saying, Sarah. I agree because I've heard a pastor say this before. Pass the tissues, we all got issues.
I
So,
like that.
but in a man's defense, somewhat. Okay,
Mm.
I'm gonna come to y'all like this. So let's say a man is wanting to holler at you or Tweet, right? The first thing a man is gonna do is he's gonna do his research. We definitely gonna do our research and see what type of woman you are. Now, as we do our research and we find out what type of woman you are, and we find out the caliber of woman that you are, a lot of times what a man is doing, which I'm not saying is fair, but what he's doing is he's throwing out just enough to let you know that he's interested, but he's afraid to let you know all the way that he's interested because what he's looking at is, dang, I'm seeing that she's this high valued woman. I'm seeing that she got her own house, she got her own job, she doing this on her own. What am I bringing to the table for this woman to help advance what she's doing? So I'm not even gonna sit at this table and tell her that I like her, which is wrong. But what I'm gonna do is just like fall back a little bit and let the chips fall where they may. A lot of times that's what men do
Manipulation.
because you could consider it
Man
manipulation.
manipulation.
You can consider it that, or you can consider it a man not wanting to get hurt.
You on mute, Tweet.
Tweet, you're on mute.
And I was talking away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was talking away. So what he does is he's gathering all this information to he's gathering all this information to come up with what he wants to present to her. But my question to you is, first let's go back to what Shira was saying about um him basically, coming in knowing his situation, knowing that, like she said, he wants to get in the water but he really doesn't want to swim. So when he's doing this, and he's coming into the situation knowing that he doesn't really want this like long term, he really knows that he's not going to do what he needs to do. Why does he do it? Because to me it sounds like what he's doing is setting himself up for rejection. You know what I mean? Like, why
He's
come in? Like you said, if he's, what is he hoping?
he's hoping that what you do
Like,
is you see the caliber of man that he is, even though he knows he ain't
or
coming with much to the table right now. He's hoping you see, you know what? At least he's trying. Let me give him a try.
or is it possible that he's hoping for sex and that would be enough for him? Is it
Some men
possible that
are
he's
hoping for
saying,
that.
"I'm, yeah, I'm not coming to the I'm gonna come to the table, present myself with whatever," and because the reality of it is a lot of single mothers are targeted for this shenanigans over and over again, and men
Ooh,
tend to not
that's a
realize
whole
that
nother
we up on
topic.
it. We
Mm-mm.
see we see this a mile away now, and we know how to put ourselves in a situation to where we either don't get hurt or we hang around for the meantime until Mr. I'm the right one comes along in your life. Okay, so what
Okay.
happens when this man? Go ahead. And then I got a question for y'all. I mean, well, a question is this is a female question, and I got a group of questions through some females that I've collaborated from. So that's why you see me kind of jotting down everything that I remember them saying. But the question is, how does a man know when a woman is being vulnerable to him?
Hmm. You want me to answer that?
You a man.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought like
He's like,
it
I
was
don't
a
want to tell
woman asking.
everything.
I always thought it was like a woman saying like for a woman to tell us how we know that a woman is being vulnerable. But for me, a way that I can tell that a woman is being vulnerable with me and opening up to me is when slowly but surely I see those walls start tumbling down. Like when I met you, you had a gate up higher than Fort Knox. But
Like,
the
give me an
more we
example of
talk,
something that she maybe
I
like.
was gonna
Give an
ask the
example of
same
something that.
thing.
Yeah, like
okay.
I mean I've heard that, but let's give an example of a woman that has a what are some of the signs she has a wall up, and what are the signs some of the signs that she has brought that wall down.
All right. So example, let's say Sarah. Okay. I'm gonna use you as an example first. Okay. So I'm gonna start it off with you. So we only been talking for about 3 to 4 weeks, right?
4 weeks. Mm-hmm.
3 to 4 weeks, and I start asking you about previous relationships. Now, in those 3 to 4 weeks, in the beginning of that conversation, the first time I ask you about that, I'm gonna get short answers. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. So
That
now
depends on
let's
if you get Tweet or you get Dawn, because I mean,
wait. Hold on. Hold on. So I'm gonna come to you too. I'm gonna come to you too. So fast forward, fast forward, and we're gonna go 5 to 6 months. Okay, Sarah, I ask you that same question again. Am I gonna get the same answer, or are you gonna be a little more open to me at this point?
It depends on how you treating me.
It's
Because if
okay.
I like you, then I'm gonna be vulnerable. The best way to know when a woman is vulnerable with you is when you are able to get something out of her that she does not usually do. Like, okay,
oh child, she just
like for example,
talk that.
let's talk about Tweet for a minute, right? The best
I
way, the best way
already
to
know where you
know
headed. I already know where you
if she
headed.
like you
Let
already
her
know.
cook for you. Let her cook for you.
Okay? So
If
that's
that
how
girl
you
says she
know.
about to cook you a
Like
dinner,
Steve Urkel, I'm wearing her down. Okay? So
if that girl
let's just
says I'm about to cook you a dinner, you
yes.
in. You in. You in.
Yes.
You in. You in.
But that's
Let's
true.
start
Like
planning the
that's
wedding. Let's start
so
planning the wedding.
it's not
You in.
always vulnerability is not always like a conversation or because I could talk about my exes, I could talk about my kids. Those are vulnerable topics. But for me to be vulnerable with you, like some people, it depends on the female. Some people you'll know if you in there if they invite you over to their house because they're very, private about their house. Some women, if they give you some, other women, hey, you gonna get it first night, don't matter. But it depends on the person. It depends on the woman. You gotta really, know her. Whatever
You
she
gotta.
say, I don't really. When she start doing that, then that's how you know. Like, all right, I'm in there.
Yeah, because it's like for me, I
Okay, but
have
see,
dealt I have dealt with that in the past where it's like in the beginning, like I'm starting to notice where like certain conversations was kind of taboo. They wasn't wanting to talk about it. But as time went on and I showed them the type of man that I am. And I
Yeah.
showed them, yo, I'm gonna be consistent. Yo, no matter what you tell me, I got your back. I'm gonna be right here. I'm riding for you like 4 flat tires. Like what you need, I got you.
You're not
And
riding nowhere
But
if they
see,
four flat
let me say
but
tires.
this.
but
Don't use that no more.
you
But
know what I meant. You know
but
what I
hold on,
meant.
listen. But listen. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is the other side of that, right? So you feel like if a woman over time, if she kind of opens up to you a little bit, then she's becoming vulnerable. But then there's different kind of women because some of us women when we are healed from something, we start talking about it. It don't mean
Mm-hmm.
that you are getting vulnerable. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you're getting a vulnerable side of us. It could also mean you're getting a healed side of that. It's healed side of us. And let me give you another example about that. Even for a female, you meet her for the first time and you sleep with her on the first night. It could be that she's in a place where she just decided that she's came out of something, she's sulked that thing, she's over it, and hey, I'm gonna have a good time,
Yep.
and maybe thinking, oh, I got her, and he doesn't realize that he is getting a healed her.
She
He's
got
getting
you.
a her that's, yes, she's in a place where in this her life where she wants to enjoy herself, have a good time. She gonna make it do what it do, and if you don't fit the grain after that, then she's gonna leave you alone. So I think that men nowadays have to understand that women are in a different place.
Okay.
Let's talk about back in the day when the men were buying the drinks at the club, and now you got to stay with him. It don't happen like that no more. Like a
We
woman will
buying
let you
y'all
buy a
drinks.
drink, have a conversation with you, hand you her phone number, but I'm here, right? But this is the thing. She may let you buy that drink, have a good time, hand you her phone number, and she may talk to you later on, but right now, guess what? I'm still in the club. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
still here to have a good time. Yes, we had a drink. We had a drink. I gave you my phone number. We're gonna talk another time. And I see another dude over here. I'm gonna go dance, have a good time. We're gonna have a drink, regardless of who buys it. And I'm gonna hand him my phone number because the reality of it is, and I always say this, men have to understand as a man, when you put a woman under stress, you mistreat her. You do whatever you're going to do to her because, whatever reason you did it for. That woman then goes back out into the world and meets other men. Okay? She socializes with other men. So now when you have conversations with your homeboys about this female that did you wrong, now you putting in the ear of other female dudes that how bad women can be, not realizing that this woman was in a space in her life. See, men think that it's only them. You know how it goes. A woman, if she sleeps with whatever, she's considered a hoe, and a man, he's considered, I'm just being a man. I'm out here
The
doing what men
man.
do. But
Mm-hmm.
men have to understand that women have evolved. Women have changed. If you listen to the music will tell you like women nowadays aren't just allowing men to do them how they want to do them, and then they laying down, hurt, crying. You know, some of us got our minds right, and we know how to get in the game and get out the game.
Okay. So here we go. I got a scenario for
And
y'all.
it's sad though because what it ends up having is hurt people.
Hurt
All right.
people, hurt people.
All right. So I got a scenario for y'all. And I'm gonna do this with both of y'all. So
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna start it off with Tweet. I'm gonna start it off with her first, and then sure, don't you worry, I got a different scenario for
Oh
you.
Lord.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, Tweet. Here we
Hey
go.
Danny.
Yo, what up, Danny? How you doing? Y'all, we appreciate y'all for coming
Hey,
on, rocking
hey.
with us tonight. Miss
And it's
Carla,
still
Sasha.
time to pull up if y'all want to.
Yes, the comment, the
That's
link
right.
is right here.
Hop in the conversation. Come on in.
Uh, then this comment
Join
right
this
here. Yes,
conversation.
Tweet. Yes, ma'am. Tweet talks. Heartbreak is definitely different between men and women. I agree because a lot of times men. I'll get back to that comment. I'll get back to that. So here's a scenario. So Don, we are at a grocery store, right? and we're shopping, and I see you from like 4 hours down, and I'm interested in you. I follow you. I end up paying for your groceries, and I ask you, can I come over to the house for dinner tonight? That's your scenario. What are you doing at that moment?
I'll number one, I would offer to pay him for that because I wouldn't go to a grocery store to buy food if I didn't have the money for it. Shira. I would offer to pay for him, pay him back for the food, but I would let him know like I'm not offering you the ability to come to my house, especially not for no dinner, because I see that as being that's something, you mean something to me if I cook some food for you. And it sounds
Facts.
crazy to other people, but to
Repeat
me it
that
means
for the
something.
listeners and
Yeah.
the
You know how you
watchers.
have
Repeat that for the
Repeat that.
fellas.
Repeat
Repeat
that
that
one
for
more
the
time.
fellas.
You mean what? When I what?
Yeah,
You mean
If she
something to me. If
offers,
I cook a meal, yes, excuse me, if I offer then that means something to you. I mean something to me because I don't just how you have those people, and let me explain this because I
wait,
know
wait,
some
wait, wait,
people it
wait, wait,
sounds
wait.
strange, especially when you are
Before
a
you continue,
mother.
wait. Before you continue, so fellas, if she is offered to cook for you, then you know
Yes.
that you mean something to
Yes.
her. Yes, sir.
Yes. Pew
Yes.
pew pew
Pew
pew.
pew pew.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is so funny. Look at God. Won't he
Perfect
do it?
Well, let
timing.
me let me let me
Perfect
go and
timing.
explain that.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Ain't God
I
good?
love it. I love it. I'm
Ain't
so
God
here
good,
for
So
it.
y'all?
hold on. Let me explain that a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because you know how you have those people that if you say we having a potluck or we having
Never
something where you
again.
bring a dish, I am the one that's going to go buy something and bring it because to me cooking for them is very intimate. I'm not a public cooker. I'm not, and it's not that I can't cook because some people tend to think that it's because you can't cook. It's not that I can't cook. I just me cooking, taking my time out to cook for somebody, to me it means a lot to me.
Right.
So I'm gonna go get me a cake from one of the stores or a dish from and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying, oh, okay, I got some such and such. But if I sit down and cook for you, that means that you mean something to me because it's something I've been doing for years. And when you are tapped out on something, you tapped out on it, and only way you want to do it is because you're doing it for somebody you care about, and you know that they need this of you. It's like
And
when you
they'll
have a child.
appreciate it.
As a parent, you don't want to cook all the time. They're gonna appreciate it because they know you don't really want to do it. This is not your
Right.
thing, but you're doing it for them.
Right.
So that was dope. That
That
was
was
dope.
perfect. That was
So
perfect.
yeah. So I mean, I think that that's everybody has their thing though. Like, what is y'all thing?
Okay. For me,
Don't turn
I'm
your
gonna
head,
let Shira go
James.
first.
I'm
I'm gonna
trying to
go.
think. I'm domesticated. I be cooking and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm trying to think.
So,
Yeah.
so what is y'all thing? Like everybody has. I think that everybody, like even when it comes to a man and when it comes to a woman, we have things like our thing that when we, I don't know, when we, do this
Like,
for or even say it. Like for a lot of people, it's "I love you." Like I think "I love you" is like people say it. They say it. It means absolutely nothing. The context of "I love you" means I want you to feel like
Yeah.
I'm really, 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 really that interested. You know what I'm
People use
saying?
that
It's
so
not.
much though.
It don't
It
necessarily
no
carry
longer
the weight
has
that
the
it's supposed
same
to carry.
value. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's like
I
the
think,
equivalent of saying
Yeah,
love
it's
you.
like people
Like
say
it's
it
the
like,
same. Yeah.
but
Yep.
I think,
I
right,
agree.
right. It's like it just people say all the time, and especially as a woman coming from a man, you can say it all day. It doesn't carry any weight unless you the actions behind it. go along with it. You can't say, you could just say, "Oh, you know what? I love you," or "I'm in love with you." Okay, I've heard this a lot.
That's just
What
like
does
the good
that mean,
morning beautiful. You tell that to everybody.
girl? Girl,
I
I
think
when you that right there is the ultimate. Good morning, beautiful is like it's
dude,
probably 10 or 15 people that in that
wait,
same auto message.
wait,
Let's talk
wait,
about the auto
wait,
messages,
wait,
okay?
wait, wait. Let me give y'all this. Let me give y'all this. So there was a girl that I was talking to at one moment, and she had gotten caught up as far as some fellas and I had been talking, and we already knew that she had been texting a bunch of us and talking to a bunch of us at the same time. So there was a particular day where we was all around each other on a call, and one of my boys goes, "Bruh, you ain't gonna believe who just texted me." And I called out the name. I called out the first initial of the name. I said, "It ain't Miss D, is it?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, it's her." And I said, he said, "How'd you know?" I said, "Because I just got a text message from her too." I said, "On the count of three, we're gonna read what the text message says out loud. One, two, three. Good morning, King. I pray you have a blessed day."
This is
Now,
where I was talking about women have evolved because we used to receive these auto
I'll
messages
tell you.
that were sent out to several women. Now, I'll be honest with
now,
you, I've never in my life done that to several people, but she's up on the game now. She's doing the same thing
so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I said that to say this because the night before, bunch of fellas was in a room together, and this one guy was talking about her and was talking about, I'm really feeling her, whoopty 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 whoop. And he
Man.
goes, he goes, he said, I was gonna invite her to help me celebrate my birthday and stuff like that. So I started laughing. And he said, "What's so funny, boy? What's so funny?" He said, "You gave me the green light to go on and talk to her, even though y'all was still doing y'all's thing." I said, "I gave you the green light, but I also told you don't put all your eggs in one basket because she's for the sweets." He said, "How do you know she's for the sweets?" And I started laughing. I said, "Because the same woman you talking about inviting for a birthday gathering just texts my phone talking about she misses me and wants to hang out." I said, "And if y'all don't believe me, hold on." Took a screenshot of it and put it up to where everybody could see it. I said, "Like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to conceit for the sweets."
I mean,
See,
it's 7 days out the week. Why
see,
y'all just couldn't
so,
take turns? That's what y'all do to us. You
But
can't get
okay.
see,
Sunday because you at church. So we gonna give you Friday. No, you got a podcast that day. You get Tuesday because you don't got no
not
podcast that day.
Tuesdays,
Yeah, you
not
get Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
See, okay, okay. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about how back in the day when men did this,
So,
they was considered players. But when women do it, they're considered hoes.
right, absolutely, it's true.
Not saying that it's right,
But this is what this
because
is
here's how
this is
I
what I
feel
didn't
about
understand.
it. Wait, let me say this and I'm gonna let you finish up. This is how I feel about it. If we have not solidified what we are doing and we are just saying like, yo, we're getting to know each other, but both of us have already said, yo, you cool to talk to other people if you want to, I'm not gonna be mad if I find out you talking to other people.
Yes, you
Do you,
are.
boo? If we done
Lies,
said, if
lies,
we said though,
lies.
if
This
we
goes
have said, if we have said, yo, we are getting to know each other. However, if you want to talk to somebody else at the same time,
Who has that conversation?
There are some people that do. If we have
I've
made that
had it before.
conversation, if we have
I've had
had
this
that
conversation
conversation,
before.
if we have had that conversation, do you, boo? Because I'm definitely gonna be doing me.
We know.
So
Okay, but this is the thing. This is the thing. For a female, as a female, speaking as a woman, if I speaking for myself, if I have this conversation with you, that if you're dealing with somebody, let me know. I'm letting you know. Number one, the interest that you're showing in me makes me feel like you're not that interested. That's number one. Or two, I don't see you having the capability of being with somebody like me. So I'm letting you know when I say that however way this thing goes, let it go, because there's something you have shown me. You know how you see like the X's and the O's, like okay, X over certain things it just won't work. I've already seen X's over you. I see this thing won't work, so I'm letting you know. Listen, this is where we're at right now, but I see that there's some things about you that I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't want you to change just because you're trying to show me something different. But I see some things in you that makes me not really, not really care if this thing goes any further. There's some things that you've shown me. So when I say to you, listen, you got somebody else, something else is going on, just let me know. It's I see some toxic stuff in you. And that means I also have learned you well enough to know that if I tell you that, you're going to try and change how I see you. And I don't want you to do that.
okay.
So
Let
how
me
do you
answer
have
this.
the conversation though? Like,
Let me answer
okay,
this before that. Let me answer this. The reason why she was wrong was me and her never had that conversation. Far as I knew, I was the only one. Now, when
but
I
you was
found out,
assuming.
as
But that was you.
but we
It was
never
wrong
had
because you
that
assumed.
conversation. But we never had that conversation though. As soon
But
as
you
I
shouldn't
found out I
assume
was
that y'all
nothing,
was
You
but you
shouldn't
shouldn't
assume
assume that
because
you
why
was
you were
the
treating
only
her
one.
good or because you got a fresh haircut or something.
I mean, I assumed it because she was the
Mm-hmm.
one pursuing me. She was the one
That don't
pursuing
mean
me.
nothing.
It doesn't.
So I
Let me tell you
assumed,
something. Every
I
man
assumed that
that meets
we
a
was
new woman
good.
in their life, you need to find out how bad she's been hurt. You need to have that conversation of how far the hurt goes because different women are different. Some women have experienced some real trauma. Some women have experienced just a heartbreak. Some women have experienced rejection. They are all different levels of how a person is going to respond to the next person going forward. If they've been in some trauma, just be prepared because the situation is going to be a little bit deeper than what they're telling you and what you see. If they've had a little heartbreak, they may be a little reluctant in going forward. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things that you need to find out because these are gonna be equivalent to different people. What about these comments? We got some comments here.
You also need to find out what she know about you because the same way you said that y'all do research on us, we also do research on you. So if you are known to be a player, oh, then she definitely might have an agenda to play you. You seen Boomerang, you seen the movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did y'all hear that clearly? Yes, sir.
Mm, okay, okay. All
There are
right,
some women.
Sarah.
Listen, and this is this
Look
is
at
this is important
Danny.
for men to know too. There are some there are some men that when they everybody has their match. Like when you in high school,
Mm-hmm.
when you're elementary school, and you got that bully, that person that's bullying everybody, that thinks they're running everything. They have their match. They just haven't ran into it yet. They just have
Yep.
not ran to that match yet. So to that dude that wants to be a player, and he's out here doing women wrong, he has a match that he hasn't met yet. I remember somebody used to say to me, if I hit you, you can't tell me how to hit you back. Well, just know that when you run around and you do women like that, or you do as a woman, you do men like that, you're gonna meet your match at some point, and that match may be a relationship. You may be out here doing your thing in your 20s and your 30s, but when you get to your
Come
40s or your
back to you in
50s or
your
your 60s, you
50s.
end up
Yep.
married or you end up in a strong relationship, and you just forgot. You done completely forgot the hearts that you've
Yep.
broken. Now you in love. You're getting older. You want to settle down. You don't want to be out here playing the field anymore. You found that one. You've been together, let's say, 10 years. 10 years later, you find out that this child wasn't really yours, or that this person has been playing you for 10 years with somebody else. And you sitting back wondering, like, how has it been out there? You put it out there, and what's happening nowadays? Back in the days, the men, let me tell you, because I'm gonna tell you, I was one of the ones that used to be in a club on Boston Road in the Bronx. I was at Classics. I went to the 4040 Club when Jay-Z first came out with the 4040 Club.
Come
I
on,
was,
40
getting
40.
drinks and having a good time, and meeting this guy and meeting that guy. Yeah, we used to go out and have a good time. And I wasn't thinking nothing about, um this dude is gonna hurt me. You meet these guys, they take you on wonderful dates, they treat you really nicely, but they're not worth anything. You know? Then years later you run into them again and you like, well, what happened with your life? Man, I done been married, she done did this to me, she did that to me. Oh, well, what happened? You was out here doing your thing. So you have to be prepared sometimes to put in your mind that some of the things that you put out, you're gonna receive back just when you least expect it.
Also, too, it might not be you, it might be your children. So watch how you handle people, because if you a womanizer and you have a daughter, karma will come back, not to you, but it'll come back for her. So be
Yeah,
careful.
I.
Play if you
Yeah,
want
I.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I.
Be
Yeah,
careful
I.
how you handle people. It will come
Yeah,
back
I.
around.
Yeah, I. I. That's why my daughter ain't dating until she turns 25.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I.
She gonna be dating at
So that's
13,
another
right behind your
conversation.
back.
So you ever see you ever see like men that have little girls, they always say he got the big guns, he got to make sure that he keeps her away from women. To me, that is the ultimate red flag on what kind of man you are. If you don't want your daughter dating, and why? Is it because you scared she's going to run into a you?
I am
Like, I don't think
scared.
men realize that, because that's like me being a woman telling my son, I don't want you to date no girls. They better stay away from here. No. I think that I've given him the tools, and he has to ultimately make these decisions on his own. But I've given him a lot of the tools in life and a lot of things to where he has to know how to make those decisions on his own. I'm not going to say stay away from females, period, but men tend to do that when they have a daughter. They're like, stay away from boys, period. Why? What kind of man were
I don't know.
you?
I'm like that with my son because as his mom, I want I
Daddy.
want to try I want to try to avoid him from a hurt I can't protect him from.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
It has nothing to do with like
Okay.
I just know like I can't protect him from getting his heart broken. If some girl don't know the true value in who he is. You can give him as many tools as you want until you blue in the face, but that's just like when you driving. You could be the best driver in the world, but you cannot predict how other people
Yeah.
drive on the road. So you can't
Facts.
predict how other people will treat your kid, no matter how good they are. And there are some sneaky people who have really great representatives for a while, and they can take them through the mud. So sometimes it depends on not who they are, meaning like they're a bad person, but what they've been through. And they don't want their children to ever endure something like that.
Facts. Like for
But you know
me,
what though? I remember Shiro, you and I were having a conversation one time. We were talking about that, and that kind of like, for me with my son, I'm not going to protect him from certain pains, but I'm good at picking him up from those pains. And it kind of stems back to a conversation that we had about having that caretaker role, or having the ability to pick somebody up when they're down, or even choose somebody that's in a bad place. You know what I'm saying? Because when you choose somebody, like when you think about your dating patterns, and you say, okay, you know what? Everybody that I meet, I have to kind of help them up. I have to build them up. I have to make them better. I have to do all these things for them. It becomes a pattern, and that reminded me of what you just said because that's how I am. Like I'm not gonna stop him from certain heartbreaks. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna give you the tools. But when it does happen, I'm the one that he's gonna come to and be like, it's gonna help him.
Right.
What's this comment? Sweet sidebar. Would you tell your son to stay away from a Drea 20 plus years old having a baby trapping that 20-year old? I I'm I'm I wouldn't tell him to stay away. This is what I have learned about children, even
Mhm.
young adults. Anything that you tell them to stay away from,
That's
They
what they're
run
they're
going
right
gonna
for.
into it.
beeline straight to it because they think that we are as parents. This is how they think. Some of them, they think when you tell them stay away from something, it's because you don't want them to leave the nest. You don't want them to spread their wings and have a family of their own. You want them to be your baby forever. You want them to stay in the household. You don't want to be alone. They don't think of it as no. I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you as a parent. I'm telling you out of love. They're not thinking that. They thinking you just want to control them. So for my child, I wouldn't tell him stay away. What I would do is keep a listening ear for the things that he's going through. If he's talking about, boys tend to talk to maybe their friends about whatever the girl is doing or whatever situation is. I'm listening. So when you do come to me and I'm keeping it an open environment without judgment to allow you to come into my life and say, come to me and say, this is what's going on with me. I'm gonna say, well, I mean, you do know that she's, a lot older than you and she probably has experienced a young man like you before. So, I think the worst thing that you could do with children is be in awe. No, stay away because they are adolescents. Their job is to be defiant, especially when they're at a certain age.
I think a lot of
Uh,
times what men do,
Another
a
comment.
lot of times,
Oh,
a lot of times what kids do is we have the mindset of I'm gonna find out for myself. So if a parent is telling us stay away from this, we're
yeah,
gonna go over there and find out for ourselves. Like for instance, both of y'all are parents. How many times have you told your kids don't touch this because it is hot? And a lot of times, what did that
yeah,
child do? He touches it anyway because of the simple fact of he wants to see why you are telling him not to touch it. Then, when he gets
yeah.
burned, he realizes, oh, okay, now I see why mama said don't touch this. Now I'm not going to touch it again. Sometimes, what you have to do is let your child get burned one good time and then let life heal them.
I remember I used to work with a guy that arms and stuff like that, and he would talk to us about kids, and he was like, well, you know, evolved as far as how kids are. And with children, he always said with children, kill their curiosity with knowledge. And I believe that's true because like even in the Drea situation, I don't know this young man. I don't know his situation, and we'll say allegedly because we don't know whether she's having a baby with him or not. This is just what the headlines are saying. But in somebody in a situation similar to that, I think it would be important to have a conversation with that young man and give him. Sometimes you got to give them the raw, the uncut truth and just throw it out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to step out of being mom and you got to step into that good friend that they talk to. You got to step that zone and just give them the knowledge that see because with kids when they're speaking to a parent, they feel like they're going to hear things from a certain way and they think it's all about control. So you give them the option of being able to choose what they want while you give them all the knowledge that they need. Give them all the knowledge. Keep it 110%. Tell them what they could expect. Tell them what they could go through, what could happen, and then you say, "But you know what? Whatever your decision is, it's that it could be considered psychology, but young adults,
Reverse
a lot of
psychology,
times,
yeah.
I know when I was a child, you don't really have you don't have too many choices. You do what your parents say, when they say to do it, how to say to do it. So as they get older, you give them a little bit of an option. You know what I'm saying? Now
Right.
I'm not saying let them do, you know, get your car and ride off in the sunset with them. But I mean, you give them a little bit of an option so they feel like they have a little bit of control.
Let me give y'all a case in point. When I was growing up, in my Sunday school class, the class that a lot of the young adults, like teenagers and stuff like that, could not wait to get to was the class that my mother and my aunt taught. Because what they was gonna do was they was gonna keep it all the way real with you, but they was gonna give you a biblical perspective on things too. They was talking about stuff that was like going on in real life. A lot of the young adults could not wait to get to that class because they knew you never knew what you was gonna get from Sunday to Sunday.
Hmm.
So it's like growing up, I didn't appreciate it as much, but now I do. So like from all right, Sarah, I got a situation for you because I gave Don hers. I ain't forget about yours. I got you. I got you, Sarah. I got you. All right, all right. So there's a man that you have been talking to off and on for a while, right? And finally, you have been telling him, like, baby, I'm not caring about what you have, what you don't have. I'm not caring about none of that. All I'm wanting is you. And one day you wake up, you look up, and you see that he done jumped in a relationship with another woman. Now you know this woman is no good for him. You know this woman ain't no count. A few months later, you wake up and you see that this dude is in your inbox trying to come talk to you. But it's gonna be your response at that moment. And he's talking about he made a mistake.
My first comment would be duh. Like duh.
I like that.
But
I like that.
it would depend on how much I liked him. Cause if I
So
liked him and it was like, and he did that, it was like, oh, okay, well, let me watch you crash and burn from afar. But if I liked him, like to the point where like feelings was involved, people make mistakes, we all make mistakes. Obviously, you did just now. So I would probably entertain it, but keep my guard up that he does have a tendency to uh make other arrangements. So don't get so caught up.
I like
So
that.
let
I
me
like
ask y'all
that.
both this question. So let me ask y'all both this question. Do you believe in a relationship? Say you're in a relationship and your relationship for a few years, and this person cheats on you, cheats to the full capacity, not like a text message, a phone call, or anything. You love them, they love you. They're saying they made a mistake, they apologize. Do you take them back?
Depends on what kind of seating they did. Did they physically see or emotionally see?
Yes. No, they fully
Which one?
cheated. You've seen text message both. They physically cheated. You've seen text message. You've seen them, somehow, some way they were connecting. They were hooking up. Would you take them back? And then when you put the cards on the table, you let them know, just like they do in the movies. And you like, okay, I found out, blah blah blah. This is what you win. This is what you did. Okay, so what do? This person confesses. They're like, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. You ask what's the reason. They say, I don't know. Do you take them back?
That ain't no answer. That ain't no answer for me because there is always a reason for what you did. I don't know is not an answer for me. You know why you did what you did. I don't know is a kid answer. You ask a kid, why didn't you turn off your light? I don't know. You ask a kid, why didn't you do this? I don't know. We grown adults. You know why you did what you did. Let's keep it all the way funky and keep it all
Okay,
the
well
way
they just
real.
say they say this
You liked what you saw over
okay, they
there.
say that this person was just consistent and you weren't. Yeah, or something.
Then
So do you deal with
then
that?
what I'm gonna say is I respect the fact that she was honest. I respect the fact that you were straight up and told me what the problem was instead of being assailed about it and saying I don't know. But since I was inconsistent and since I wasn't giving you what you wanted, go on over that old boy. I'm sure he can continue to give you what you want anyway. I'm done. I'm washing my hands with it.
Okay. Shira,
In the words of Jill
Wheels on
Scott,
Wheels.
in the words of Jill Scott in Why Did I Get Married? Enjoy your 20
Bingo.
because I'm
Bingo.
out. I'm out because I already know. First of all, we're gonna have that conversation before we even get into a relationship. What my deal breakers are, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel like cheating is not it's a non-negotiable for me. Once you do that, tis rap
You
for you,
done.
right? And then I already know how I show up in a relationship. Like I am this is the proper term, James. I am down for you, like for flat tires. So I
Yes,
already
I meant
know
down. I meant down,
I
not
already
wide.
know the type of person I am. I already know how I cater. I already know I show up when you sick. I do all the things. So whatever the
Mm,
reason is that you decided to cheat on me, I hope it was worth it because now you're
you
going
don't
to
got me.
be salivating when you find out that it's like I'm like one of them songs that you
You fumbled the
skipped and you
bag.
later found out was a hit. You like when you find out
I love
when
it.
that aha
Yeah.
moment come,
Yeah.
when that aha
Yeah.
moment comes, you like,
Like
dang, yo, that song is
yeah.
hot. Yeah. Oh boy
You
found
oh
that
I
out
remember that song. I didn't
quickly.
yeah.
And you like, yeah, no, it took you 10 years to get it. Oh, but when you get it, you're gonna be mad. And I'm just gonna sit and watch and
See,
So
laugh.
okay.
this is
Mm.
this and the reason why I asked from tell you good I'm gonna hand it over to you, James. The reason why I asked that is because when we think about relationships leading to marriage and forever, forget a relationship, forget marriage, the term forever. How do we look at a relationship with someone and say they are going to forever only be with me when there is a world full of 1,001 and times are changing? Let's look at right now. Let's look at 10 years from now. We already got a lot of little Kims out here in the world. We got the rappers talking about doing whatever, whenever, however, right? Let's talk about 20 years. Let's talk about another 10 years from now. You know, 10 years from now, you're going to have not just the female rappers talking about, you're going to have the male rappers looking like female rappers saying that they're going to do whatever, whenever, however. So you are now in competition with all types of people. So how do you get into a relationship with wanting and getting into a commitment with forever involved? Say I'm going to be with you forever, knowing that all these components are constantly changing. So we're not just dealing with temptation; we're dealing with something deeper than that. How do you do it? Because me myself, when I think about marriage, I think, how do you? Y'all know my theory. Before we do this, we need to know we're gonna love each other regardless of what we do. How do you do it? Y'all both just said if you cheat on me, it's over. That's
Well,
just
let me
cheating.
tell you from
What
a
happens when you
marital
find out they're cheating
perspective.
and they bought the person a car, or they're something crazy,
Or had a whole baby. That's a whole nother one.
or had a whole bit that's happening left
Mm.
and right. So
Right. Well, when
how do
you
you
when you get
how do you
see
get
this generation, to me, I think they like to throw out words because it sound nice. Words like wife, words like husband, words like marriage, words like love, and they don't know what it entails. It's like kind of like filling out a job because you need a job, but you don't know what the job description is until you actually show up for the interview. And then when you see the list of everything that is called, like the qualifications for this said job title, you either decide if you're going to take it or you don't. And 9 times out of 10, people usually still take it, even though they know good and well
They
they're
ain't
not going to
qualified.
show up or qualified for this position, but they take it because they need a job, right? So that's
No,
usually how it works. People
let
want to
me.
get married or whatever the case may be because they want to get married knowing good and doggone well if she gain weight, I'm out. If he gets sick, I'm
Right.
out. You know what I'm saying? And
So
it's scary, but at the same time, when you decide to marry somebody, you are making the choice to accept them for who they are now, and you are telling them that you are signing up to continue to accept them because marriage is a choice. You're continuing to accept them as they evolve because who you are now is not going to be who you are in 10 years. It's not going to be who you are in 20
Yeah.
years. Stuff gonna happen, life gonna happen. Like we said before, something happened to my mother, who I am now, I'm not gonna be after she passed. That's not gonna be the same person. But you have to
That's
choose to
right.
love me in spite of. You have to choose to love me in spite of Deja that lived next door and she got a better body than me. But you got to keep in mind that my wife's body might not be like that, but my wife's body can get like that if I have grace enough to go to the gym with her. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is your wife. So you've
Mm.
married me for a reason. So you have to keep that in mind. Also remember that your wife body looked like that because your wife had 2 or 3 of your kids and Deja did not. So her snapback is a little better. You know what I mean? Like people have to really
Mhm.
understand what they're signing up for and why things happen. If somebody gets sick and they turn and get real mean or honorary, they're not being, mean and honorary just because something is going on inside their body. Like there's a lot of moving parts that happens when you get married, and a lot of people they just believe okay it's going to be happily ever after, just like the movies. They never
no,
show you the after part. What's
I
the
think
after part?
I think for me, if to sum it up of what marriage really is, you have to go to the book of R&B, aka Chapter Music verse Soul Sound, where it says, "Lately you've been questioning if I still love you the
I
same
love
way."
that song.
Because through these trying years, we've we're gonna both physically change. Now, don't you know that you'll always be the most beautiful girl in the world? So let me reassure you, darlings, my feelings are truly unconditional. See, I'll love you if you gain a little weight. I'll love you when your hair turns gray. I'll love you if you gain a little weight. I'll still want you if you gain a little weight. The way I feel for you will always be the same, just as long as your love don't
What
change.
year? What year is the song? Because they used to.
Music
Yeah,
soul
but.
sound don't change.
Mm-mm.
So for me, like
See,
when
this
I
this song
say that
right
I
here
love,
is another.
go, go
Go ahead. I'm
tweet,
sorry.
go tweet, go tweet.
It to me, if you read that, it sounds like a Hallmark card that somebody wrote and they sending it to somebody else. Those are things that you say. Those are things that you say to woo the other person and draw them in. But is that really what's happening? Number one, what was that song? 19.
That's in the
That was in the
90s.
2000. It
Is
was in
it?
the 2000s,
Oh.
I think.
No, couldn't have
But
been
okay, so let's let's
2000.
let's let's um
I bet you that's a 1990 something song.
let's dissect that song. So he said, "I will love you
When your
if
hair
your
turns
hair
gray.
turns gray." Okay. So he didn't say nothing about if she ever got sick. In the video he does, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't say anything about if her hair fall out cuz she got chemo. He just said if her hair turned gray, right?
I'll still love you if you gain a little weight.
He said a little weight. What if she gained a whole person?
Little
Because
keyword,
she could be
little.
116 pounds,
But
Then more.
see, he
but what
cleared
if
it all
she's
up.
250?
He cleared it up by saying, "Now, don't you know that
Right.
you'll always be the most beautiful woman I know? So
He
it
say that
don't
now
matter
because
about
she's
all that."
beautiful. He ain't get to that
Oh, wait a
part
minute.
yet.
Two. to me. He didn't say that. He said, you the beautifulest woman I know, and I will be back
That's
in a
all it
minute.
matters.
Because he's going to go venture out. This is what I mean
He
when I
say
say this is
he ain't
that
say he'll
movement
never cheat.
representative.
He just said he will love her forever. That's what he
The way I
said.
feel for you will always be the same, just as long as your love don't change. He is saying, like, look, I'ma be down for you, like 4 flat
He was
tires. I'ma be riding for you. He is saying, like, yo, I got your back, baby.
he's
I'm
saying, keep
not
loving
going
me
to
with your
leave you.
fat gray haired
I'm not
self.
going to face you. Exactly,
But
like,
see, the video
because
is
I'm gonna say too.
amazing because she did end up getting in a car accident. She was in a wheelchair, and he did, take care of her and still looked at her
Exactly.
the same way, So in that
But
regard, the video is nice. But we talking
I
about
think
today and today's men.
I
That's
think
not
today's
happening.
men, I think today's men suffer from the Nemo from Finding Nemo aspect of things.
No, they like Dory.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish though. They suffer from that because
Explain to me these people.
so Nemo was a fish that
He's a
um
fish or something.
yeah, he was a fish that a lot of people hated on. They really didn't. A lot of people looked down on him, but
A
nevertheless,
fish.
he ended up.
What was he ready to? He was able to swim
Wait,
fast or something. What?
no, 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 no. Let me finish. Let me finish. So he ended up telling a lie, and a lot of people respected him after this lie was told. Now, he had this this other fish girl that was his ride or die.
A
She
fish
was right
girl?
there by his side through it all. She had his back. She was never gonna leave him. Like she loved him even when he was at his lowest moments. When nobody else really
This
felt,
sound like the movie Juice.
dude, Sarah will tell you. Sarah will tell you.
This
And one
sound
of the
like
most
New Jack
powerful movie the
or a
one of the
movie.
most powerful parts of the movie was when Joy when the female fish looked at Nemo and told him, would this girl care about you if didn't nobody else
That
love
is
you?
not Nemo. Lord Jesus. That
Wait,
is
wait, wait.
not Nemo. That is Shark Tales.
Shark Tales, Shark Tales, Shark Tales.
Lord. Forgive him, y'all.
It was some fish movie. It was
That
some
sound
fish
like Menace
movie.
to Society.
It was some
Yeah,
fish
so
movie.
so Shark Tales.
It was some fish movie. I knew
Don't
that.
start me on that movie because that movie is just like real life. Because I love that movie
He
so
said it
much,
was some
and that
fish
is the
movie.
key. That is the key example. Okay, so let's talk about that movie real quick. So Shark Tales is about this um. Let's say he's from the hood, right? A hood fish named Oscar. He always wanted to be somebody, so rich and
Mhm.
famous. His father, he grew up in a house where his father worked very hard, but his father didn't have a lot of money. So he always had dreams and aspirations to be rich and famous so he wouldn't have to struggle and live paycheck to paycheck like his father. So he ended up working in this car wash, and he had this female best friend, right? Now his female best friend was in love with him, but he never looked at her like that because she was regular, right? So he ended up getting some type of he ended up getting rich and famous because he told the lie. And he got the penthouse, he got everything that he basically put on his vision board, he got that. And then he got the dream girl, the Delilah, the poison, never trust a big button to smile. He got all that. And then the moment everything shifted and they found out that he wasn't this great and powerful person that he said he was, everything fell apart. And him and his best friend was getting into an argument because she's like, basically you lost yourself. You know how they say in the Bible, what profits a man to gain the whole world?
But lose his
The
own
whole
soul.
exactly. So she was basically telling him, like, you're not the same person. You're losing yourself. And he was like,
Right.
well, nobody loved me when I was nobody. And she was like, I did. And he had this like epiphany moment, like, I basically had everything thinking I had nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he had one
Basically
of
telling
those.
her she was none.
Yeah, like he was basically, she was saying, like you always talk about you had nothing. And I'm tired of hearing that nothing in your life was good enough. Like, yeah, you didn't have, basically, she was saying, you didn't have the greatest job, but you were employed. You didn't have, all of these rich and famous fans, but you had people that loved you. Like, you had people like the kids in his neighborhood, they looked up to him. The bum on the street knew his name and was always trying to talk to him because in their eyes, he was a celebrity, but in his eyes, he
He
wasn't.
wasn't.
So it was like how you view yourself means a lot, because to other people you can be that rich and famous person or whatever the case may be, but if that doesn't matter if you don't feel that way about yourself. So you have to go out here every day and believe that you're a champion, so other people will feel that way too. But he ended up getting it together. He got the girl, whatever. But it was Shark Tales. It was not
Do you
Finding
really
Nemo.
Nemo.
believe that though?
I
You
I
said it's the fish
believe
movie. It's
that
the fish movie. So
for me, I
I mean, I
believe
don't think
that
people say
I
that.
think
I
that
don't
sometimes
know if I
men
believe
can
that
lose it.
though.
I think that sometimes we can lose ourselves and like get so caught up in what we think success looks like that we lose sight on what success really is. Like for instance, with me, there was a point in my life where I lost focus on what my main purpose was supposed to be. I lost focus because I was grinding, trying to be
Hmm.
successful, and God is like, look, I see what you're doing, I see what you're trying to do, but while you over here hustling, trying to do this, guess what? This over here is taking a back seat.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to. A lot of us
I
find
mean,
ourselves like the prodigal son, where he was in that far off country. But the part that a lot of people don't talk about is they talk about he left home. They talk about he ran off with all the money. But nevertheless, what they don't talk about is when he got at his lowest point, he came to himself and said, you know what? How dare
yeah.
I be out here and my father got all these riches? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna come back to myself and I'm gonna go home. And that's what a lot of us have to do is come to ourselves and realize, you know what? Maybe I don't have $1 million, but I got $5. Maybe I'm not living in the best house, but guess what? I'm not
Yeah.
out on the streets.
And you know what too? You have to also realize that
And see,
God is,
going
he
and
might
see,
not give you what you want, but he's going to give you what you need to get to where you want. So, like
Bingo.
in Oscar's case, he wasn't rich and famous where he had this rock star lifestyle. But at the end of the day, when he came or had his come to Jesus moment and he attached himself with who he was supposed to, which was the girl, he ended up he obtained the favor that God had for him, right? And he became a business owner. He owned the car wash at that point. So he wasn't the one scrubbing tongues because that was his job. He wasn't scrubbing tongues. Now he's owning and telling people how to scrub the tongues and do, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes we get caught up in how we want to get to point Z, that we forget all the other steps that it takes beforehand, and we try to fast track, and that's how you get messed up.
I agree with that.
but that's what the world is about, though. That's what the world is about. The world is about putting. If you even think about the cost of living and how it's constantly rise, for you to be in a situation where you're more equipped to be able to take care of yourself. You're more many different things. That's why that's the case. If you look at the world and the cost of living rising, what benefit are we getting out of it? It's set for us to, it's almost like to be a constant temptation for us to say, how far am I willing to go to make sure I have all the things in life or to keep my life afloat? How far am I willing
Facts.
to
Yeah.
go?
It
So
Yeah.
is.
yeah, and I think even when we think about relationships and what men want and women want, it's important for us to keep that in mind. Like, you know, I believe is what James was just saying. It's like you could be dealing with somebody that wants this or wants that, but you have to first come across and be yourself and be realistic about what you can handle, what you can't handle. Am I in my league? Am I out of my league? Do I want more for myself or do I really not want more for myself? And I'm trying to make this other person believe that that's what I want. Just be real because you can be stepping into a situation that could be great if you were being your authentic self. You know what I mean? You get into a situation where you're not really being your authentic self and you coming across as being what this other person wants. That's got a time.
So
It's not gonna
let me
stay
tell
that
y'all
way.
this story real quick, and then I'm gonna land my plane. I'm done for the night. So I
Hmm.
was watching, Steve Harvey had a show back in the day. He had his talk show, and they always have this segment called Ask Steve. So the lady came up and she was telling Steve, she said, I was with this guy, I was with my man, and I always wanted to get married, I always wanted to be a mother and all the things. And she said, the guy that I was with, he proposed to me. And then she said we went to marriage counseling, we was paying for things, everything was progressing nicely. And then one day when we went to marriage counseling, he said he can't do this. And she said I stopped talking to him. She said I left the relationship, I stopped talking to him. She said he gave me some space and then he starts calling me again. Why is he calling me? Like, is he trying to manipulate me? He's trying to play me again. He's trying to da 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 da. So after Steve pried out enough information, he basically told her, he said, well, how old are you? And they were in their 20s, I think 25, 27, something like that. So he told her, he said, listen, I want you to understand this. He said, you said you've always wanted to get married. Men don't think like that. We
Hmm.
don't care about stuff like that.
I
We
seen
just
that.
want you.
Yep.
He said, we just want you. So 9 times out of 10, he's going to give you whatever you want because he wants you. But as you are getting excited about the wedding and all the things, he's thinking about the man perspective and protecting and providing. And now all of the stuff is coming down on him at one time. And he's thinking, I'm not where I need to be in my career. I don't have the money for all
Facts.
of this. How am I going to keep her smiling? How am I going to, provide for us? I'm the man. I have to be the rock, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, he's not saying he don't want to be with you. He's just saying he needs time to catch up to the dream that you had for the both of y'all. And that was like a light bulb moment for me because a lot of the times we as women, we get so caught up in the relationship space because we want the man as is. We're accepting of the man as is. And then all of that stuff in our mind will come later. But for the men, they think ahead and then go backwards. We think right now and go forward. So they're thinking, well, in order for me to get in a relationship with her, I already have to have the money. I already have to do this. I already have to do that. And we're thinking, well, if we come together, then we can go and get that. So it's all about giving each other to bring everything to a close. With men want versus what we need. We need them, but they want to be set first before we can get whatever we want because they're already focused about providing and protecting and all the things. Because like we was talking about earlier, when we are growing up, we're given the kitchen sets, we're given the babies, so we're already thinking about mothers and wives and all the things. They're given
Yep.
tools, they're given trucks, so they're already being prepared to protect and provide. It's never you don't never see women getting construction hats and all that, or men getting kitchen sets. So we've already been separate. So now we have to come together and put the two dreams together and give each other grace until we both get there. Give the men grace to get where they need to be emotionally, and they have to give us grace to um help us understand that we have to be patient with them until they get where they need to be financially, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. It definitely
Super
makes
dope.
perfect
I
sense.
110% agree with that. I agree with that. And I think that a lot of times men have to understand, just like what you said, like, you don't, I'm a person that I don't want to be with anybody that is into me at my best. More recently I went through a few different events, and those are the times when I paid attention to a lot of the people that
Yeah.
said they felt a certain way about me. And that's the thing that you pay attention to. Like, even as a
Yeah.
man, why would you want to get all of these things and have your finances in order, and then you meet this woman,
Yep.
and this woman doesn't know anything about what that you don't have gas money, that you don't have lunch money, that you don't have anything, but you pretending, and then you get your feelings hurt when she's not accepting of who you really are,
Yeah.
when it's time for you to realize that you're not the image. Be real about what your situation is, and be this is the biggest thing: be great at whatever you provide to that situation. To the men
Absolutely.
that may be listening, be great at whatever your role is in that relationship. Be great at it. Be on top of it. Never let her ever worry about whatever that thing is that you bring to the relationship that you're great at, regardless of whatever it is, even if it's not finances. Be on your job about that, because then what happens is over time that she lets down her guard, knowing and trusting that whatever he is great at, he's going to be great at and be stress free about it. For me, now over time, when his stuff changes, great at a few things, easily walk into that situation and be like, oh no, he got it.
I agree.
Trust me. When he only had that one thing
Mm-hmm.
he was on top of it. Now he has five things that he's good at, and he's going to be on top of it. And it goes back to him being confident about whatever his role
Yeah.
is. Finances, confident about that role that you have, and to the end, and let her be like, oh, she don't have to worry about this. So that you're going to handle your business. That is showing that, you know, well, guess what? Whatever you're leading her in, be on your about it. Because
I
that's going to
agree.
speak volumes to her. To a woman that wants to settle down and wants to be with somebody, she's going to know that, okay, well, whatever he's good at, and as time progresses and he gathers more things of being good at, she's going to chill out because she's going to be like, I can trust him,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mhm. So at the end of the day, I think to sum this all up tonight, what men and women both are looking for is a space where both of them can be safe. We're both looking for
Yeah.
that safe space, whether it be financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And once you provide us with that safe space, you got us. And so we appreciate you all walking out with us tonight. We appreciate y'all supporting us. We appreciate y'all rocking with us tonight. And we will see y'all again next Friday. You can go to all three of our podcasts and check us out. We'll Talk Monday. You can go to Away from the Web. You can go to a Blemish Beauty podcast. You can go to Tweet Talks, and you'll be able to catch this same conversation on all three platforms. Or if you just want to go to, if you want to go to After Show Vibes, you can catch it over there too. But y'all, look, we will see y'all when we see y'all. Catch y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.